Hello, hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart realtor, and I want to welcome you to our monthly Road to Approval Lunch and Learn hosted by your heart homie, Adelai Brown. I'm so excited to have you with me today. I am here eating lunch. You could see my little lunch right here. I got my little drink, and I'm ready for us to go through this home buying process. So, if you've been around, you know we do once a month, every second. Um, we've been doing every second Tuesday or Wednesday of the month. We have our monthly lunch and learn where we homies, I call everyone who we grow hard equity with, we do real estate with, are our hard homies. And we get together and we talk about the home buying process. We have a 10-step process that we take our clients through the home buying journey. And so this month we're talking about step 6. So we're going to jump right in and get this party started. All right, so here we go. Road to Approval Lunch and Learn. I'm hosted by Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and today's topic is due diligence. We are inspecting our investments because if you're going to make a big investment like purchasing real estate, you want to make sure that you're doing the necessary inspections. All right, a little bit about me. I am your Hard Homes agent, lead Hard Homes agents with over 15 years of experience in the real estate home ownership sector of our lives. I am a heart work practitioner with a hyper focus on emotional intelligence and how that impacts every area of our lives. I've been a professional realtor now for over 6 years, guiding professionals from renting to ownership and growing their real estate portfolio to grow wealth through their real estate investments. And my mission is every heart deserves a home. I truly believe that. I put that behind all of the work that I do. And that's one of the reasons why we do these monthly lunch and learns, because what I found is a lot of people don't know. I found a lot of people are in the home buying process and they have agents that are not informing them of all of this information. There are a lot of people who think that they can't purchase homes when they're already in a position to buy. So we come here once a month so that we can grow together, we can learn together, and we grow what I call heart equity, which is defined as personal, relational, and financial wealth that we obtain through authentic living. I believe that we were designed to possess the land and take dominion over the land. And real estate is one of the ways that we do that. And I do believe that every heart deserves a home, and there's a home for every heart. And that's what we focus on here with Heart Homes Realty with Perspective Living. So this is where we are in the process. So far, um, you have secured the right realtor. Here you go. Or one of our Perspective Living agents. We have talked about budgeting and goal setting. When you're getting ready to make this type of investment, you want to make sure that you're budgeting and setting your goals and reaching your goals so that you not only can purchase your real estate, but be able to maintain and keep it. So after we focus on budgeting and goal setting, we get to one of the exciting parts of the home ownership journey is we get approved. We get with the lenders, we find out what your buying power is, and then we get to step forward. We start shopping for your home. After we've shopped and found the home that's designed for you, now we go to offer and negotiating the contract. And this is where we are today. Step 6, the due diligence process. This is when we are inspecting this big investment that you're about to make. So, inspections and research. When I work with my clients and we are going through what we call the due diligence process, this is the time the buyer and seller have agreed that we have X amount of days and time for the buyer to do whatever inspections and verifications that they need to do on the property itself. Now, the attorneys may have other inspections and a title search that may be done later in the homeowner process, But this particular part of the process is focused on um, you as the buyer getting all of the information that you need about the home as much as you can, right? Your offer is accepted. Um, and you do your investigation. You turn into your own private investigator of this property. And this is where you and your agent are working together. Any concerns you have, you want to address that during this time. Any questions you have, you want to ask during this time. So you can make sure that if you decide to move forward, and we'll talk about that, that you feel comfortable with this decision you're making. What is due diligence? Due diligence is doing your homework before you fully commit. When you do your due diligence, like I mentioned earlier, you're investigating, you're researching. So this would include getting your home inspection, your termite inspection, reviewing all of the property disclosures that the seller has given to you, and also doing your research on your neighborhood and your property, anything that's important to you. Your agent is not supposed to talk with you about anything. Legally, we're not, as realtors, we're not supposed to specifically say, oh, this area is bad or this area is good, but we can refer you to resources to better research the neighborhoods and the communities, the homes that you want to purchase so that you can make the most informed decision. So you're not just buying a home, you're getting to understand this. This due diligence process, you're also communicating, especially if you're obtaining some type of mortgage or financing for the home, you're also communicating with your lender, making sure they have all the information that they need so that you're not just um, inspecting the home, you're making sure you're getting the interest rate you need. And, you talk with your lender about logging in that rate. All of those things come about, especially around this due diligence period. So a licensed inspector, so when we talk about getting the home inspected, the actual home inspection, you want to get your home inspection done by a licensed inspector. I've had clients who have family members, friends of families, who are general contractors and residential contractors. They have family members who have experience with contracting. And they invite these individuals in to inspect the home and look at the home. In most cases, most of my clients pay a licensed home inspector to do the home inspection and have additional family and friends come to inspect alongside those inspectors to make sure that the report is consistent and that there's a full, thorough inspection done. You don't always have to do that, but some people do that because they want to do that level of research and investigating. So you as a buyer have to decide, what are you comfortable with? How much do you want to know? How much information do you want to gather? And then you want to be working with the agent that's looking out for your best interests. You want an agent that has some experience. And when they see certain things on the um, certain information on the property disclosure, or even when you're touring the home, you want you and your agent to be looking out for potential concerns and or even benefits of the property. And all of this is done during the home inspection period. The home inspector is really focused on inspecting the entire home and really focusing it on the major systems of the home. Those major systems include the roof, the foundation and structure, the electrical system, the plumbing system, the HVAC system. Those are like the five major areas of the home, but you're also looking at the grounds. You're also looking at the surrounding areas. But the home inspector themselves, they are like going in to do, it's just like you go for your annual physical at your job. I mean, for your doctor's appointment, a home inspection is like that on a home. So this is information that you use for decision making. You shouldn't be afraid or a lot of times I have people say, I'm nervous about the home inspection, or I'm scared. I'm like, you get excited about it because this is where you're going to find out more about the home, or at least find out the areas that you may want to do additional inspections. depending on the property and how you're purchasing a home, you may need sometimes you have to get, if you're getting a mortgage, you have to get a termite inspection on your home. If you're buying your home straight cash, you might not need that, or doing some other type of financing to purchase the home, you may not need that. Um, the home inspection isn't a mandatory thing, but I've never had anyone that didn't get one and they were getting financing, because you want to make sure that you have all of the information you need when you're making this big investment. But sometimes you get the home inspection and things come up on the home inspection. Maybe the inspector says you should get the HVAC system serviced by HVAC tech, or get a roof inspector, a roofer to come out and inspect the roof, or maybe you got a leak or something going on with the plumbing. And so you need additional inspection. Some homes have sewers and septic systems, and depending on the type of financing, you have to get an inspection done for that when it comes to financing. So you want to make sure you're working with the agent that understands your financing needs, different types of loans. We talked about that in one of our previous lunch and learns. I think it was week 4, month 4 or 5. Depending on the type of loan you receive for financing, that will determine what you have to have, what you don't have to have. VA, USDA, conventional, FHA, they all come with different requirements. But additional inspections typically start about $75, but depending on your location, your area in the country, that could be different. So every home is different. So we inspect those homes according to what is noticed on the initial walkthrough or the inspections. If you see something concerning, we ask the inspector to look at that specifically on the inspection, things that come up. I've had clients do additional inspections and find, oh, this system needs more work, or we find, oh, the HVAC is in better condition than we thought, but we don't know that sometimes until we get an additional inspection. So when when I work with my clients initially in the home buying process, I try to give you an idea of what it's going to cost and guide you through the process. But I always remind you that it's an estimate. And depending on what we find with your home, that really determines the extent of inspecting we may need to do. So it's all on a case by case basis. So what happens after you do your inspection? So after you do your inspections, you have options. This is why you have this due diligence process. During this process, you can decide, hey, I want to move forward with purchasing this home, or I don't want to move forward with purchasing this home. Or we can decide, okay, what are the terms you want to move forward on? So you can move forward as is. You don't want to ask the seller to repair anything. You're fine with the way the home is. If you find issues with the home, you as a buyer, you and your agent may decide, hey, we want to request repairs, or request the seller to make repairs, or we may want to request the seller to offer credits at closing so that you as the buyer can make those repairs once you are now the owner of the home. We can reevaluate what the terms of the deal are. Is this still a good investment for me to move forward with this information that I now have about this home? And then last but not least, we hope that you don't have to do this, but walk away if you need to. You want to be protected over being pressured. And you want to be with the agent that understands that. And you also want to understand what you're walking into. So you do have options. When you get under contract with a home, you're not always, every contract is different. I'm going to say this, every contract is different, but you do not, in most cases, the due diligence period is where you can really decide if you want to move forward or not with maintaining that investment on that home. Are y'all enjoying your lunch? I'm enjoying mine. So red flags to look for versus normal wear and tear on the home. Because the truth is not every issue is a deal breaker. However, every concern you and the buyer it needs to be addressed. You and your agent need to address it and deal with it so that, one, you feel secure about moving forward with this process, and two, you feel seen and heard, because that's very important. We've signed up as your agents. Your realtor is supposed to be there to help guide you and comfort you through the process. So any questions you have about repairs, what can be repaired, what can't, what should be asked for, what shouldn't, these are conversations you can have with your agent, and don't be ashamed or embarrassed to talk about what you're concerned about and what you saw, and ask those questions. This is the time to do it. So some things we consider normal wear and tear. It's cosmetic needs. You might need some updated paint. Maybe the flooring is worn out, or some of the fixtures are dated in the home. You might have systems like the roof might be a little older, or the HVAC might be older, but when you get it checked out or on the inspection, they look really good. Those are normal things. Those are common. Many buyers move forward with purchasing like that. But things that you want to look out for is, if you notice serious, structural, foundational issues, you notice major leaks in the roof or damage, if you notice electrical plumbing hazards, or you smell mold or see water damage, or see some type of termite damage, or just see things that alarm you, you want to address that during this period. You don't want to go past the due diligence period, because by this time, in most deals, you've put down some type of earnest money, you've made some type of investment into saying you want this home. So you want to protect this every step of the way. But you do want to look out. If it's something that is a red flag to you, is concerning to you, you want to make sure that you are addressing those things. So another thing we keep in mind too is we want to look behind the home. The community matters too. I often ask my clients, before we start the actual searching process, what's important to you? What is what do you want to have in your community? So you want to research beyond doing the home inspection. What are the neighborhood trends, right? What's traffic like? What are the schools like? What are some of the resources, public resources that are there that are important to you and your family, that matter when you decide about your place of residence? Looking at the property history. There are multiple ways we look at that outside of the disclosures that are given by the seller. You verify with the insurance company, look on the map. Is this a flood zone? Especially being here in Charleston, South Carolina, the low country, you have issues with floods that you want to look out for. You want to make sure you're properly covered and insured, and you're protecting your investment, right? And also, if this is important to you, you want to consider what your future resale value might be. These are all conversations you can have with your agent. I talk to a lot of clients who maybe getting into home ownership, um, getting started in the journey, and they might want to buy a home, have an idea of a dream home that they can't afford right now. So what we do is we look at homes that can prepare them for that next part of the journey. Okay, let's move here. This neighborhood is trending. It looks like the numbers have grown. This is an up and coming area. These are things that, you look out for when you're purchasing, especially if you're considering one day, maybe turning that your residence into an investment or rental property. You want to look at these things. So smart buyers aren't just looking for a home. You're considering it's not just your place of living, but it's an investment. And you want to make sure that you're living near what matters most to you. So this is our information about our due diligence and inspecting your inspecting process. Every month we do our lunch and learn. So coming up next month is step 7, when we deal with appraisals and insurance. So I just recently got into we just recently added insurance and investments to the services that we offer here in our Heart Equity Collective. And um, it's really important that you're insured, and you understand the appraisal process when you are purchasing real estate in general. So this next month, we're going to be talking about confirming the home's value, finalizing your lender requirements, and how to really secure and protect the value, protect your home by way of insurance. So we're getting much closer to the finish line on this road to approval. You're not just getting approved, but you're getting much closer to purchasing your home. So if you've been following me along the way, especially over the last couple months, each month gives you time to work out these steps. So we talked about step 1 and 2. Maybe you're still working on securing a realtor and working through the budgeting goal process. If you are, I would love to support and help you through that process so that we can move you along. We can get you here to step 6 and moving into step 7 and get you into your home, because that's ultimately the goal. Every heart deserves a home. And one of the ways that we do this is through our residence ownership initiative, which we call our ROI. And it's our Road to Approval Academy. We are here to support and encourage. You have that individual support, that group support, the accountability that you need, and the community to help you thrive as you go through this journey of not just home ownership, but being approved to live the life that you want to live on your terms. Because a lot of times when you get your life in order to purchase a home, you'll be surprised at how many other things you've given yourself access to because you locked in and focused on the investments that you need a return on. So to get started in the road to approval, registration is $197, membership is $97 a month, and we'd love to have you in there. And if you love to learn more, I'd love to get on a one-on-one discovery call, complimentary, to discuss the Road to Approval Academy or any other services we offer here at Heart Homes Realty. So next steps, let's keep building. I'd love for you to schedule, what I want you to do is schedule your Heart Homes Discovery consult. Let's talk about where you are on the road to approval and how we can help you get to your desired destination. Join the Road to Approval Academy. This is a place where you can thrive and grow. I've been guilty of trying to do too much on my own and figure out life on my own too much. And I found a lot of strength and joy in being in community. And I believe that you can benefit from that as well. So get approved, get your pre-approval updated. If you've already been approved, following the steps from before, every 90 days you have to get that updated. So make sure you keep your pre-approval active so that when you find the home you want, you're able to move forward on it. And get with your agent and start your personalized search. So wherever you are in the journey, here's some active steps for you to move forward. Before you leave today, choose one of these steps to take before our next session. What are you gonna do? Let's schedule your Hard Homes Discovery session. Right? Join the Road to Approval Academy. Update your pre-approval. Let's get your home search started. Which one you gonna do, right? Before you leave today, let your homies know. Share some insight. Leave a comment in the messages below this video or share with another homie. What did you learn today? What do you now know that you didn't know? How are you going to use this information to move forward and empower you in your home ownership journey? And stay connected. Make sure you go to the website, adelaibrown.com/Heart Homes Realty. You can go to our Instagram, Adelai Brown Real Estate, Facebook, Adelai Brown Real Estate, YouTube at Heart Coach Talk. Let's stay connected so that we can learn and grow together. All right, so questions and discussions. What stood out to you today? What questions do you have as a result of hearing this information on our Lunch and Learn? And how can me and my team, how can we support you in your next step? I am Adelai Brown, your heart realtor. Every heart deserves a home, and there's a home for every heart. You can find my phone number here, email, and you can find the links to connect with us. So wherever you are on this planet, there's a way for us to connect with you, and we would love to do that. And thank you. Your journey matters, your home matters, and your heart matters the most. We love you. Remember, we'll be back next month On the second Tuesday of the month, we'll be talking about appraisals and insurance and moving forward in your home ownership journey. And make sure you follow us and stay connected because remember, homies, don't let homies do real estate alone. I love you guys very much. I'm so honored and thankful to be here with you today. And I'm looking forward to us growing and learning together more in the future. Okay. All right. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.